I'm Jim Schultz. Welcome to Options Uncapped, man. Welcome to the Tuesday afternoon edition of what it is that we are trying to do, man. Welcome to the Stealth Stream Victory Lap edition of what it is that we are trying to do. Yeah, we had a couple of things work out this morning, which you guys are going to see here in the next couple of minutes. So shout out to the private OU community where I'm doing those stealth streams. Got a small community that we built where I'm still working things out. I'm trying to perfect all the things related to OU. And so before I get going today, before I forget, because I know once we get lost in the weeds and we get knee deep in the hoopla, that will be the show. If you want to know what I'm building, if you want to know, all the things around OU and how you can maybe be part of that community in the fall, sign up for the Trading Lab. It's completely free down in the description, and you will learn all about those things. But also, welcome to we don't have the intro song selected for the show just yet. Now, I know what it is. I know what it's going to be if your boy can get the licensing rights for it, which that's about a 35 to 37 delta, according to Polymarket here this morning. But you guys still have not guessed the intro song. Now, let's recap. Here's what you need to know about the intro song. Number one, it has nothing to do with money. Number two, it was released before 2016 because when I chose Dangerous by Big Data for FTTP RIP, this was the other song that I almost chose. So it was right there in the running. I almost chose it. So now I'm like, well, it's got to be the new song for the new show. Like, that's going to be it. And then the third thing, it's not super popular. Like, it's a little bit popular. Like, when you hear it, you've probably heard it before. But it's not going to be like, it's not Welcome to the Jungle, right? It's not going to be, like Wind Beneath My Wings. Like, it's not going to be those kinds of things. It's a bit more off the beaten path than that. But here's another clue. This is a huge clue. It is a band. It is not a single guy or gal. So think more like Beatles, not necessarily like Bette Midler. Think more like, Boyz II Men, not necessarily Kenny Loggins, or even Kenny G for that matter. And so it is a band. It is not a single person. And so there you go. There is your next clue. Again, if you guess the song, it has not been guessed yet. If you guessed the song, I will send you a free case of Ghost on OU. It just comes out of Ryan's salary. It just comes out of Grace's salary. So don't even worry about it. It's going from OU HQ to you if you can guess the song before I secure the licensing rights. I would say you have probably maybe a year, maybe 2 years before your boy can kind of lock this down. And again, remember, your most important job today is to pop down into the comments, into the YouTube chat, questions, comments, stories, and jokes. Put them in there because I want to know, and the algo is dying to know. So Ryan, bring us in. Man, bring us in to the market. Guys, we got a little something cooking. Got a little something going on back there. We're not cooking with that canola oil. Nah, man, this is straight avocado oil. Straight coconut stuff. And so this morning, we did have a few EQTs that worked out okay. And so, of course, in the spirit of full transparency, I did want to go over those with you guys, if at least for a couple of seconds. And then I really wanted to highlight the power of not really the EQT, but the power of the do nothing strategy. So if you are brand new to me or brand new to the show, welcome aboard. I'm glad that you're here. And so I could not do this without you, so I hope that you stick around because your boy needs that watch time. So I really hope that you continue to watch the show. And I wouldn't even watch it on regular speed. You should be watching this on 0.5x because I get double the watch time. If you watch it on 0.5x, I get double the watch time. If you put it up on 2 tabs, each at 0.5x, I get quadruple the watch time. So let's be strategic about this. Like, let's be thoughtful about this, and that's the way you got to play it. But yeah, we did a few EQTs this morning. Again, it's really not that complicated. I mean, the underlying math and the quant and all that kind of stuff, that stuff's, it's been ironed out, but I'm kind of polishing and refining that stuff around the edges now. And, but the actual execution of the EQT, you're just slanging them, man. You're just slanging them. That's really it. Like, that's really it. It's just grip it and rip it. It's Roy McAvoy. It's Tin Cup. That's all it is. And so we did one at 933. You can see that we got short the NASDAQ right there. And then we bought it back, a couple minutes later. Again, typically targeting between 25 and 45 points on the NASDAQ. It varies by product, of course. And then the NASDAQ rallied back up. We sold them again at 941, right there at 68. Bought them back, 2 minutes later? at 24. And then we did one more on our way out the door as the OU community saw. I didn't love this trade as much as the previous two, but we did it, and it worked out okay. And so we got that guy as a nice little padding around the edges to everything else that's going on in the portfolio. It's just a nice complement to what's going on with short premium. And so, again, the reason why I'm choosing the market open is I want the high velocity period. That's why the 2 o'clock window, this is not prime for the pickings. This is not exactly prime real estate. This is not beachfront St. Pete property when it comes to what I'm looking to do with an EQT. I want movement. I want lots of back and forth. The market open, essentially 9:30 to 10, is ripe for those pickings. And, the metals open, 8:20, 8:30 is also a good time. The pre-market can also work when volatility is a little bit higher. But right now with the VIX so low, I would not say that that's going to be a good time for the EQT. But anyway, we did those trades. And then, let's see here. Let me delete that. And then let's go to, and I see, man, there are so many questions coming in. So many questions. Let me go ahead. Let me address one question that came in, because I see it from my boy Ash Finn. What's going on there, Ash? Oh, Ash, I got to tell you, man. So I went to, yesterday afternoon, I made a midday run to Vitamin Shop because I'm all out of Ghost, right? And so I'm in the shop. I'm getting my usual stuff, right? I got my originals. I got my sour pink lemonade. Like I'm all stocked up, right? Well, then I was about to leave, but then out of the corner of my eye, I saw the case of Candy Apple Gorilla Mind. Right? And I hadn't tried it before, and I know you posted about it, you tagged me in it, and I was like, man, I got to give this a go. So I have it in the fridge, in the garage. It's nice and cold now. I don't know when I will call on it, but you've been talking this thing up, man. Like, you've been talking this thing up for a while, so I'm excited, and I'll let you know how it goes there. But yeah, so will the audio mess up today? What's the delta? That's Ash's question. I'm going to say it's 0 now, because the funniest thing is, so Ryan is doing such an amazing job. He's running the entire show. He built the entire system. He's running the entire show. And Grace has the community on lockdown. Grace has the chat on lockdown. Ryan's in the chat too. Of course, Grace is doing the graphics. I mean, they're working so seamlessly together as a team. I'm just trying to stay out of the way. As long as I'm out of the way, things work really well. It's when I get in there and start changing things and moving dials or whatever, that's when everything gets messed up. So now, as part of kind of the pre-flight checklist, Ryan just comes into my computer and he actually mutes the YouTube stream for me. So I don't even have to do it. Like, I'll look at it, it's already muted because Ryan already did it. And so the delta is actually 0 because it wasn't left to me. Like, it wasn't, I didn't even have a chance to mess it up. And so I did want to address that really, really quickly because that's kind of funny. But okay, let's go to, so those were the EQTs from this morning. Let's talk for a couple of seconds about the current premium positions that I have on right now. So I have the same positions that you guys saw from the other day. And, MES, AAPL, GLD, and IBM, right? These are all the trades that I've had on for a while. And by a while, I mean, it's been about 6 days now since, OU's only been alive for 6 days, essentially. And so they're all about 6 days old, give or take. The do nothing strategy, the DNS, the do nothing strategy. This is the default setting, right? This is my go-to move. Like, when it comes to out of the money premium, like, I'm looking at MES right now, right? Like, I'm looking at MES, like, yeah, we're getting a little close to 21 days to go. Another thing that I'm kind of tinkering with and toying with is potentially holding a bit beyond 21 days, because I kind of think anywhere between 21 and 14 is fine. And so just tinkering, just kind of testing and trying to figure out what might make some sense. Maybe going a little bit beyond 21 days to go. I think it could make some sense. And maybe we'll just revert back to 21 days to go. That's totally fine. It's obviously a really solid anchor point. But in the spirit of trying to get a little bit better, and in the spirit of trying to improve at least a wee little bit around the edges, I'm like, maybe we hold this guy just a little bit longer than 21 days to go. So I'm not necessarily going to be jumping out of my shoes. And by jumping out of my shoes, I mean jumping out of my slides to adjust this guy at 21 days to go. It may be 18, it may be 16, it may be 14, it may be 12, right? The gamma risk really starts to grow teeth in those final 2 weeks, right? Really, that final week and a half to 2 weeks is when the gamma risk really begins to grow. And I mean, if we're talking like really grow, like really, really grow, it's really not till that final week, right? It's really not those last couple of days. Like, really, it's that final hour. That final hour before expiration, that's when gamma can get really, really gnarly. And so I think holding it to 14, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. But again, you've got to make up your own mind. I could not and would not ever tell you what to do. None of this is financial advice. None of this is a trade recommendation. You need to consult a professional, and I can assure you with a 100 delta, I am not that individual. But when it comes to this MES position, I'm going to sit tight because it's out of the money. Why would I do anything? There's no reason to do anything. Go live your life. The glutes aren't going to pump themselves. And so just go get it done. And so MES, we sit tight. We do nothing. Apple, this was a trade that we had on. We put this guy on. When did we put this guy on? Got to bring up our chains, man. Our Allison chains. Let's do it. So Apple, we did this trade. 824. Was that yesterday? Wow, man. It feels like a lot has happened. Since I'm doing 2 streams a day, it's very difficult for me to remember days now. Everything is just kind of I'm basically just 6 hours from my next stream, basically all the time. So I just kind of think of my life in streams now, to where I'm all right, was that public? Was that the private OU community? When is the next one? What's going on? And so when I think about with FTTP, it was great because it was just 1 show per day. And it was really easy to keep track of, and it was just easy for me to earmark mentally. Now I'm okay, where was that one? Where do I go next? Ryan just point me in the right direction. And so yeah, I really felt like this trade was last week, but it was actually yesterday, 824, and we did this guy for 712. And right now, I mean, again, it's a strangle, right? You sit tight. There's no reason to do anything. The trade is working. There's 100% no reason to do anything. And this is another difference I'm going to make coming off of kind of the Tasty Foundation. I mean, the Tasty Foundation is amazing, right? The Tasty Foundation is incredible. And so, when it comes to using those principles as our foundation, you're not going to be too far off the mark. You're not going to be too far just, out to pasture if that's what you kind of cling to. It will, keep you on the right side of history. But I think, and these are just my own personal Dr. Jimisms, right? So take them or leave them. I would probably strongly consider leaving them, but every once in a while, you may find a diamond in the rough. I like making some adjustments around the edges. I like maybe holding beyond 21 days to go. I like maybe making fewer adjustments than we did before. And a lot of this is within the spirit of one of the pillars of OU, which is simplicity. Trying to simplify these things down, right, to people who can't trade all day, people who don't want to trade all day, people who want this to fit in around the edges of their life. They don't want this to be their life. They already have a life. They already have family. They already have friends. They already have a job. They already have all these other things. And this is intended to kind of be the mortar around the bricks. And so because of that, I'm trying to find ways to simplify this. And I think we've got some things that make some sense. I think we've got some things that kind of make, a good bit of logical sense when you kind of put them together. And so when it comes to out of the money strategies, though, we're going to sit tight and do nothing with that guy too. Today is all about the power of the DNS, right? Today is just circling the bases, and it's not even me that's circling the bases. It's the DNS that's just circling the bases. Not unlike your Boston Red Sox last night, coming back to beat Miami. Got a little Nick Sogard for you guys. Got a little Mickey Gasper. How about a little Mickey Gasper for you guys with a clutch hit there in the 6th inning to tie the ball game? Little Mickey Gasper. It's always a good day when Mickey Gasper comes to play. And so Apple, we sit tight, we do nothing. And that is that. And then moving on down the list, if I go to GLD, so this has been the stick in the mud up to this point because gold has, so we did this trade, this was last week, I think, right? It was at 820. This was almost a week ago, so this would be Thursday. Yeah, Thursday of last week, we did this trade. So if I right click and I go view market state snapshots, you can see that when I put this trade on, gold was 411, right? 410, basically 411. Now gold is up to 426, right? So there's been a little rally in gold. And so because of that, obviously, we're down a couple of shekels on the position. Now, is it anything crazy? I don't think so. Now, again, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? You are the judge. You are the jury. You are the executioner when it comes to all things your portfolio. You may look at that and you may say, Jim, I got to be honest. My underoos, they're not bone dry. I understand. It all depends on risk tolerance. It all depends on, your risk appetite. And so I totally get it. When I'm looking at this, we're still riding pretty dry over here. And so for now, I'm not going to do anything. For now, I'm just going to sit tight, and that's going to be that. And so I'm at a 370, 470 strangle. You've got the GLD at 426. There's no reason to do anything, right? Again, if we bring up a chart here really quick, let me bring up a chart here really quick. If I look at GLD, I bring up a chart, and the now let me do let's do a daily deal. Let's go back we'll go back like 6 months. That's fine. So if we look at our strikes on our strangle, right? 470 and 370. So again, if you're brand new to trading, hey, welcome aboard. I'm glad that you're here. Man, I'm super excited for you. You have a very exciting journey ahead of you. And by exciting, I mean it's going to be downright terrifying at times. But it's going to be exciting some of the other times. So 470, 370, right? Essentially, you've got the stock right there. I mean, we are covered, right? We are covered right now. Now, that could totally change. I mean, gold could rip. Gold could dip. You can get a bloop. You can get that guy down there. You can get a blood up, which is obviously to the upside. You can get either one of those guys, and that would not be great. But for now, we sit tight, we do nothing. Now, again, if you're new to technical analysis, this is somewhat advanced. I would probably back up a couple of steps and maybe go to some other programming to get kind of the basics down before you get into a bloop or a blood at type of analysis. But when I look at GLD and I'm looking at this position, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit tight. I'm going to lean into the DNS. And that is going to be that. And then lastly, if I go to IBM, this was our short put that we put on. This was a trade that we did on 8/21. So this was also last week. And, we sold that guy. We sold that put. You've got the stock. The stock was at, 235 when we put this guy on. It's basically in the same spot, 232. So there's really not too much to talk about here. Again, a lot of premium selling is going to be a lot of patience, a lot of doing nothing, and a lot of just kind of letting the things work out. And then, with the EQTs that we kind of layer on top of that, that's obviously a lot more active. And so I really like kind of the, the yin and the yang, kind of the juxtaposition of a tuna fish and applesauce per chance, right? That's a lot of juxtaposition, but it actually works in a not really kind of way. But if you think about IBM and you think about premium and you think about GLD, and then you lay on top of that maybe some things that are more smash and grab in spirit, I think it can work. I think it can make a little bit of sense. And so, all right, so let's go ahead now. As far as because there's a lot of questions that have come in. Man, wow, lots of questions. So many questions. This is so good. I'm going to try to get to as many as I possibly can in the next couple of minutes here. I do want to make one more comment. There's not really anything to do today because, there's no earnings later. I don't think there's any earnings tonight, right? Is it Nvidia tomorrow night? I think Nvidia is tomorrow night. And you know what's funny? Because there's a lot of new people that are finding me because now I'm free. I'm free, right? I've broken outside of the tasty barriers, for better or worse. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's happened. Right, so we are outside of the tasty walls. We are outside of the tasty ecosystem. So now new people are finding me. People are emailing me. People are commenting. People are stopping by the house. And they're like, Jim, I just found you 2 days ago, and I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And so I'm getting lots of emails. I'm getting lots of comments like, bro, you're not saying the video right. And I'm like, they just don't understand. They don't understand. There's so much more teaching that we need to do, guys. There's so much bigger of an impact that we can make in this world. So I need you guys out there as my people. I need you guys out there as my arms and my legs and my hands and my feet. So be out there. Let's make a change. If you need to make it, if you feel like you're not making a difference in the world, here's the way. Here's the way to do it. And so, but yeah, we got Nvidia tomorrow night. And so we'll obviously trade that guy tomorrow. And so if you can smell that, it's unmistakable. It is unmistakable. I know we've made it almost a week and we have not lit a single stack of cash on fire. That's all going to change. That's all going to change tomorrow because I'm being a bit more selective, right? I have to be a little bit more selective. I mean, this is my capital. This is my cash now. And so it's a little bit different. Again, I just routinely have a pretty strong hankering to set something ablaze. And so I have a feeling that tomorrow, the afternoon show, I probably won't do it in the morning. I'll probably tee it up and tease it up in the morning because tomorrow we do have a double feature. Ryan, do you have my schedule graphic actually? Yeah, bring that guy up. So for the public streams, I'm still with you guys like 90% of the time, which is awesome, right? So remember, I'm live here on YouTube Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock. So every afternoon, I'm going to be with you guys. And then in the mornings, you guys get a double dose, a double feature Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So tomorrow morning, I will be with you guys in the morning, and then I'll be with you guys again in the afternoon. And so moving forward until probably mid-October-ish, this is going to be the schedule. And then it might stay roughly the same. I'm not sure. But I know that this is where it's going to be until that point in time. Cool. All right. So thank you there, Ryan. So now I think that's pretty much it. I don't know that there's anything else to do here in the market. It's super quiet. There's nothing to do. So we sit tight and we just kind of wait until tomorrow. Okay, let me go ahead. Man, there's so many questions. This is great. This is so awesome. All right, so first and foremost, my man Dracos. What's going on there, Dracos? So Dracos says, Dr. Jim, I believe your simplification is starting to rise to the surface, at least for me. On timing with placing EQTs, is there a creative way to make it work as a passive investor with a 9 a.m. and a W2? Makes it tough. I totally understand. So a couple of things. So, I mean, the spirit of the EQT is to be utilized during periods of market activity. Now, could the markets be active in other windows outside of the market open window? Of course. You know, are they sometimes active in the evening? Of course, right? And so the spirit of the EQT, it doesn't have to live inside these kind of predetermined and prescribed equilibrium windows as EQWs. But they do, I mean, the reason why they're there is the testing and the trialing kind of showed me. I'm like, all right, these are the times when there is naturally more activity. There kind of is naturally this greater search for equilibrium. So if I'm going to be selective and I want to take more of a sniper-like approach, not necessarily a shotgun-like approach, then I want to give myself the highest chance of success with these. I try to color inside the lines as much as I can. Now, I don't always do it. You'll see some green outside the line, and you're like, what is that? That's Dr. Jim. You'll see some pink outside the line. You're like, what is that? That's Dr. J again. So every once in a while, and by once in a while, I mean it happens pretty regularly, in the evenings, in the early mornings, I will also trade outside these windows. But I do think that there's a higher degree of effectiveness. Now, how you marry that with the job and such, I mean, I do a lot of this stuff from my phone. I really do. I don't do it as much now because I'm streaming with you guys, but I do a lot of this stuff from my phone. A lot of the testing and the trialing was from my phone. And so, again, I really feel like the window itself does much of the heavy lifting. I don't necessarily need to be super precise with my levels. And again, maybe I'll grow, maybe I'll improve and get better, and that will all change at some point in the future. But right now, I don't really feel that way. And so because of that, it's kind of like the market opens. Again, this is just a hypothetical scenario, right? The market opens, you sneak away from your desk, right? You pull up the old iPhone for 10 seconds, and you're like, hey, the NASDAQ rallied. I was looking at it before work. I kind of like this level. That could work. Is that going to be as effective as kind of looking at the tape and being immersed in the market? I don't think so. I do think there is some added value and added benefit to doing that. But just trying to think outside the box, right? And trying to give you solutions. Can you do it outside regular market trading hours? Yes. Do I think it's as effective? I'm going to be straight honest with you, and I'm going to say no. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. But again, I mean, the EQTs can be, like, they're an addendum, man. Like, they're the fine print. They're not the main kind of, the main course of what we're trying to do. And so, yeah, I mean, hopefully that helps you a little bit, Dracos. But I appreciate you. And then apparently we need to create a poll for the Jimmys and the Schulte vote. We won't do that today. We'll let it kind of happen organically. We'll see what you guys come up with when it comes to that. Mike Franklin is in the house. What's going on there, Mike? Mike says too risky for static short delta right now with lots of pressure to keep the market up leading into midterms, longer term than your EQTs. Yeah, so I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you, sort of. Directionally, I mean, you're right. There's a lot of pressure to keep it elevated. There's a lot of pressure to pump it. Like, I understand that. But given where we are, just, closer to all-time highs, I'm still kind of leaning more short than long. Now, looking at my portfolio, again, I mean, looking at the portfolio delta, this frees us up to do so many things, which is so cool. I mean, I'm leaning a little bit long now. That's probably more neutral than long, but, that's definitely at least a little bit long. But I still like to lean more short than long with the EQTs. I did it 3 times this morning. I still will nibble on the long side, which is funny because one of the longs I did last week was, one of the ones that got me into the most trouble that I've had so far, which thankfully we haven't had very much trouble at all, which that's just dumb luck. Just hang with me for any length of time. I can promise you we're going to step in all kinds of diddly poo. I can promise you that we are going to get completely rinsed at some point in the probably pretty near future. So if you're like, hey, what does he do when this doesn't work? You're going to see all that in spades. Don't worry. And I'm not talking like blind nil and you get it spades. I'm talking like, yeah, you made your bid, but you got your 10th bag and you're going back 100 point spades. Like that's what I'm talking about. And so we're going to see all those things in the near future. But yeah, I still lean short. I don't know if there's too much to that. Election years and things like that. I mean, there must be something to it because it keeps happening. But I still kind of prefer to lean more short than long. But hopefully that helps a little bit there, Mike. Really, really good question. Let me see here. Who else we got? Oh, let me surprise and delight somebody. I'm going to surprise and delight somebody in the middle. Man, I haven't forgotten about the surprises and delights. They are 100% going to be part of the show. They are the show. They're 100% the show. Sam L says Banana Natty is loaded. My man. Ghost secured. My man. Now back to work with the Banana Natty in hand. That is very, very, very impressive. And so, hang on. I see a couple. Ash says my intro is going to be Barbie Girl. That's a great guess. But that's not it. I mean, it was definitely in the top 5, but that is not it. And let me see. Who else we got? We got let's see. Let me see if I can find somebody else to surprise and delight. I think I can, right? I mean, it's my show. We can do what we want. I see DTM Lau says Tim Knight will be starting this work for months to come. I mean, hey, the contest's not going to make itself. I mean, I understand that. He understands that. It's like this contest not just going to create itself out of thin air, right? And so, I mean, I'm serving it up on a silver platter for him, right? Because he's got all the regular stuff. He's got all the usual stuff. If he's looking for some different stuff, the bloop analysis is right there for the taking. And so, again, as long as we get 25 to 35 cents per time he mentions it, it's all good, man. It's all good. All right, so let's see here. Let's go back to Dexter is in the house. What's going on there, Dexter? Dexter says, hey, Dr. Jim, how many naked MES puts would you say is safe for a $100,000 account? 10 or 1 is 1 ES better? Okay, so this is a really, really good question. So let's kind of work this out, right? So if I go into, so like you can take my MES put right now. We'll just use mine as kind of our kind of placeholder, our example. Mine has a beta weighted delta of 18. Let's just call it 20 to make it kind of simple. So my MES has a beta weighted delta of 20. So this has 20 beta weighted delta. So if I'm thinking about, a $100,000 account, which is approximately double what I have here. So I have about 65 or 67 shares of SPY in my account. If you had $100,000, then you're going to have about double that. So you're going to have about 135 shares of SPY. Again, we're just getting back to leverage point stuff. I've talked about this several times in the first week. But repetition is the key to mastery. And especially since I'm really just going to be talking about the same 5, 6, 7 things over and over and over again for however long OU exists. Could be 2 weeks. Could be 2 months. Could be 2 years. Like, I don't know. I would say the delta that we make it more than 2 months, there is no way it's over 20. But if we do, it's going to be pretty sweet. But when I think about share equivalents, it helps me understand my leverage point. It helps me understand how exposed I might be or might not be relative to the overall market. To me, when determining how big I want to be with any position, this is the number one thing that I'm thinking about. The number one thing I'm thinking about is, okay, if I do this trade, how is it going to impact my portfolio delta? Because that tells me if the market begins to move, how am I likely going to have to absorb said move? Whether it's positive, negative, whatever, like that'll all work itself out. I need to know what is that move likely going to do to my portfolio. And it's going to be the portfolio delta that's going to give me that number and allow me to actually do that. And so when I think about a $100,000 account, I mean, you've got 135 shares of SPY, so that means that if you have 135 delta in your portfolio, then that means you have 1x leverage to the overall portfolio. So if I went in, I mean, well, actually, let's not use mine because it's already decayed a little bit, and a lot of new positions won't be at a 20 delta. A lot of them might be at like a 30 delta. So let's say you had a 30 delta put in MES. Now, I mean, if you held 4 of those, let's grab a different color just because we can. I think so. Let's get a little, we could do a little dyed strawberry. That's going to be a 4.5x leverage point, right? So if I have 135 delta, or excuse me, let me restate what I just said. If I have one MES put at a 30 delta, then I'm way under even 1x leverage. If I had 4.5 of these, so 4 to 5, that puts me at about 1x leverage to the overall market. So, I mean, again, could you have 10? You'd be at about 2x leverage. If you had 7 or 8, you'd be at about 1.5x leverage. And so, I mean, I think anywhere in that range is probably okay for most investors. Again, I cannot tell you what to do. I would never even begin to try to tell you what to do. So this is a hypothetical answer in a theoretical situation in some fictitious scenario that is not this one. But maybe this helps. Maybe this helps some way around the edges. And I think anywhere between 5 and 10 is probably going to be okay. It all depends on risk tolerance. It all depends on kind of what you're trying to accomplish. And so hopefully that helps a little bit. Let's see, DMZ. What's going on there, DMZ? DMZ is in the house. DMZ says, "Hey, Dr. Jim, what's going on there, Daniel? Let's go. Can you take a look at DKS? Is that Dick's Sports? I think it is. Sold some 120, 125 September put spreads. Oh, man, you're going to make me do defined risk, Daniel? Nah, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. It is Dick's Sporting Goods. Down $54. Whoa, man. Did they just have earnings last night? Wow, that is a move. They had earnings this morning. Well, look at that. We were just at Dick's the other day to get Eli's baseball stuff. Got my man some high-top cleats. Got my man the all-white high-top cleats. Man, Miami Vice is jealous, right? Crockett and Tubbs, they got nothing on Eli. Man, he is just running like the wind. I mean, they're all dirty now. They're basically brown now. But for the 5 seconds that he had them there for a second, man, they were sweet. They were really, really sweet. And so, yeah, we were just there. And, I mean, I'm really shocked that, that's a huge, huge move down. I mean, I would definitely want to fade this move. Me personally, I mean, you can obviously decide what makes the most sense on your end. But yeah, I mean, a put spread is fine. The thing about Dick's at 125 is if I go ahead, if I were to, this is actually a decent time to do something in here. I don't know there, Daniel. The thing I like about DKS here is the simple fact that it is. Wait a second. What happened to all the strikes? There's no strikes. September? Yeah, you can't even sell. Look at this. Are these Vinny Batista pits? Guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I don't see any strikes. All the strikes in Dick's are in the money. Now, maybe that makes sense because the move was today, but it's like, come on, guys. Come on, market makers. You had all day. Right? And apparently we're getting taken over by robots, so have the robots do it. Right? Have the algos do it. Right? Apparently they're going to run the world in the next 3 to 7 business days anyway. Apparently not. Can't even get strikes that are out of the money in October. That's really, really bad, man. That's really bad because I don't want to do something in September. Right? With 24 days to go. So I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on a little Dick's Sporting Goods. Good luck to you there, Daniel, on your trade, of course. But I'm going to pass because I don't want to do something with 24 days to go. I don't mind stepping in after earnings, but I can't even do anything in October that's out of the money. That's pretty wild. And so the market makers or Tasty, whoever, has got to get on the horse and get us some out of the money strikes. Maybe we'll have some tomorrow. So maybe remind me tomorrow. Let's see. Point B is in the house. What's going on there, Point B? My man, I appreciate you so very much. Point B, can you comment on how to adjust the portfolio Greeks on your account? Do you keep 1-to-1 ratio between Delta and Theta? Yes. So no, I don't go 1-to-1. I mean, a lot of times, like if you go back in the Tasty archives, and I mean, I even talk about this a little bit in some of the, the OU resources I'm building out. Which again, if you want to know more about that, just sign up for the Trading Lab. That's the best way to do that. But if you look at, if I look at like oh wait, hold on. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this guy. Wait. Hold on. I have multiple drawing tools here, so it's a little bit tricky. Okay. If I've got these guys, my delta and my theta. So if we go back into like the tasty world, right? So now we are momentarily back inside the barriers. So one of the things and the Tasty research is second to none. The Tasty research is A++. I mean, a lot of, what I'm doing inside of OU has been informed from the Tasty research over the years. So I have nothing but love for all the Tasty researchers and all the research that's been done. I mean, it is A++ stuff. If we go back in the day, though, one of the things that was discovered, which I think is great, is this 1-to-2 delta to theta ratio. So this 1-to-2 delta to theta ratio in terms of figuring out what is a good balance between my directional exposure and my theta decay, right? This is great. It makes a ton of sense. There's just some problems with it. Number one, it only works with short delta. It's only going to work with short delta because if I have long delta, this ratio is no longer applicable because the ratio is designed to figure out how many short deltas do I want to hold to help shield my positive theta, my time decay, in the event that there's a big volatility expansion and the market is likely going down, right? That's where the short deltas will kind of kick in and they will help to protect some of that short premium. So it's great if you're holding short delta. Okay, well, as you can see right now, I'm not holding short delta. So right out of the gates, I can't really use a delta to theta ratio because it doesn't really make sense. It's not going to do what I really want it to do. And then the second reason why I don't use it as much now is because of the EQTs. And the EQTs are so fluid in nature that they're always changing my delta numbers around. And so it doesn't really make sense for me to try to marry a specific delta range with a specific theta range. I prefer to kind of look at them independently now. It just makes a lot of sense to me. And so I'm not going to look at a delta to theta ratio in terms of what we've maybe looked at before from the tasty days. But again, if you're always carrying short delta like routinely, then it can be extremely helpful for you kind of thinking about this 1-to-2 ratio. When it comes to the ratio I'm looking to carry, I don't really think of a ratio. I typically look at them independently. And so again, if I grab, let's grab a little, we'll grab a little OU blue for you guys. There you go. A little cornflower maybe? Is that cornflower blue? I think that is cornflower blue actually. In fact, I'm almost positive that's cornflower blue. And so there you go. So I think we graduated from Glacier Freeze on Tasty to now cornflower blue, which is that's pretty good stuff. So when I look at my delta, I'm trying to measure my leverage point, which we've talked about. We just talked about it earlier today. We've talked about this ad nauseum, back in the day. And so that is the one thing that I'm trying to measure. When I look at my theta, I'm typically looking at living somewhere between 0.1 to 0.25, give or take. This is where I typically like to live. Right now, I'm right on the bottom end of that range, which is totally fine. And so that's where I typically live. I don't typically use the two together in a ratio like we've done before for all the reasons I just mentioned. And so hopefully that will make a little bit of sense. Okay, let's see who's next. Let me grab somebody else. Well, I see Sam L says I'm writing this comment from the gym doc. Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. Daniel Perkins, what is up, my friend? Daniel Perkins says, I'm very annoyed that Doc hasn't added a Starbucks trade yet. Frankly, Autumn should leave him over it. Now, again, guys, listen. We're in a different world now, right? Markets move and things change. And so, for 10 years now from theory to practice, we were just out in the wilderness with no supervision. There was no chaperones. There was no parental guidance. We could do and say whatever we want. Now, we've got Grace here, right? That's Autumn's sister. She's moderating the chat on a pretty regular basis. And so I would just like to say on record, Ryan, you are recording this, right? I believe you are. I would just like to say on record that my life has been so full these last 16 and a half years. It's going to be 17 years in October if we make it to October 10th, which Polymarket says 61, 62 delta. but my life has been so full. I am the luckiest man in the world. I married the woman of my dreams. There you go. It's on record. Boom. It is on the tape. But should we, I actually feel that way. Should we get a Starbucks trade on in honor of my marriage and my marital obligations with my wife? Maybe. 11. Yeah, Ivy rank is just not that great. Does Starbucks have earnings coming up? Nah, not that I can tell. We gotta wait, Danny. We gotta wait. Again, we have to be selective with the stacks of cash that we set ablaze now, right? It's a little bit different, right? Because Amelia's gluten-free waffles, they're dependent on the EQTs. They're dependent on GLD and Apple and IBM and such. And so, yeah, but I appreciate you there, my friend. I know that you know that I do. And so let's see. Henry Kranz is in the house. What is going on there, Henry Kranz? Hey, thanks for the email response this weekend. What's the gotcha to selling in-the-money covered calls instead of cash-secured puts at the same strike? I often notice you can get more extrinsic value. Yeah, so theoretically, I know this is a big thing now. These in-the-money covered calls is kind of a big thing. And I actually started kind of poking around with these in the early days of building OU. I think I even maybe recorded some videos. I don't know if I kept them because it was really, really bad. Like the early stuff, I'm like, nah, man, we'll bury that and put it in the backyard, burn those tapes. But yeah, in-the-money covered calls are very interesting because you sell the in-the-money strike knowing full well that you're not going to participate in any upward movement of the stock. So it's very similar to a short put in that regard. But you are able to, you know, obviously bleed off the extrinsic value off the strike. You keep that premium. That's what you're trying to do. And you essentially have protection all the way down to the strike. Synthetically, it's the exact same as a short put. Now, given like dividend payments and, you know, potentially put call parity between the put strike and the call strike, you know, the in-the-money cover call might make some more sense to some people. I'd have to really kind of dig up my notes and think about the gimmies and the gotchas and the key differences between the two, because it's not entirely clear to me what they might be. I know that synthetically, if I do a 25 delta short put or a 75 delta in the money covered call, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same trade. The P&L graph is going to look the same. But logistically and mechanically, it's going to be a little bit different for reasons that you began to cite yourself. You know, not the least of which is if I own the shares and I sell the call against it, I'm collecting the dividend. Now, again, you know, with put pricing, the dividend is in there, but it's not the same. Like theoretically, we can say it's the same, and it is the same. But practically speaking, like if we were to go, just hypothetically, if we were to find someone that could take us from theory to practice, he would show us. Now, I don't know if there's anyone out there that can do this. Maybe you guys know of a guy. Let me know. If someone could take us from theory to practice, we would see that just because two things might be the same in theory, they are not necessarily the same thing in practice. And so I think this is a good example, Henry. Give me a little bit more time. I'm up to my eyeballs and everything OU related right now. So maybe circle back in the next like 2 to 4, you know, to 17 weeks, and we'll take a look at that. And also, I mean, there's obviously a big buying power differential between the two. But let me see. Let me try to get to a couple more. Let's see. Joel James, stream liked and algo being pumped. Did Autumn make it home before midnight last night? Oh, last night on a Monday night? Nah, man, it's school nights now, man. She's in there schooling the children. Like, man, she is in bed. Like, she is in bed early. Now, the kids all come in, like, you know, on any given night, it's a 93 delta that Amelia comes into our bed. No, none of the kids start the night in the bed. We don't do that. Like, we put the kibosh on that early on, and we're very glad that we did because we need some time together. And with small children, it's very difficult to find time together. Anyone out there who has had small children or who has small children, you know exactly what I'm saying. But Amelia May, 93 delta, she's coming in. Eli, lately, you know, he's 9. He's working through things and all that kind of stuff. He's like around a 50 delta now. Penelope, she's gone. She's out. We will not see her until the morning, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's about a 93 delta that she comes in bed. So we got to get in bed early. So Autumn is typically in bed earlier than I am, and I'm typically working on OU stuff, just doing videos and doing whatever. Ash Finn even says We need that calculated risk series brought back to OU. I gotta run, but yeah, I'm trying. We don't have a series, but man, I am trying to pump videos up to the YouTube channel like a madman. And I just recorded one today. I'm very happy with it. I just recorded one the other day. I may actually upload it here in the next couple of hours about starting futures. And so I've gotten a lot of questions about this, and so I wanted to begin kind of addressing some of those questions via the YouTube mechanism and the YouTube algorithm that's obviously in control. Like, you're not in control, I'm not in control, Grace is not in control, Ryan is not in control. The YouTube algorithm is in control. But I'm out of time now. I gotta run. Man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so very much. If I can ever help you guys in any way, please shoot me an email. I am jim@optionsuncapped.com, or we can connect on Twitter. I am at optionsuncapped on Twitter, or even at jschultzf3. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. We have a double feature tomorrow. In the meantime, guys, trade them small, trade them heavy, and stay grateful. I'll see you guys tomorrow.